Hi, I'm Emily, and today I'm going to tell you how to create an actually aesthetic dashboard in Smartsheet. I know a lot of people have problems with this because the things in Smartsheet currently are not always the cutest. There's issues with brand colors. So I'm going to really talk through all of this today and help you create the most visually appealing, professional looking Smartsheet dashboard. So let's get started. So here is my cute little aesthetic dashboard. So we've got a lot of things going on here. This is really simplified because I really want to focus on the brand colors and other visual elements that you could potentially have in a Smartsheet, not necessarily content, visuals. So here we have an embedded form. We have some interesting looking things up here, which I'll get into. And then we also have a report with some KPIs, some nice images here. At the very end, I'll talk through the different pixel sizes for these things. So getting started, I'm going to go back out to edit mode. We have your company logo. I like to display that at the top. This is a 500 by 500 pixel size. I utilize Canva for a lot of my images, but you can also just download your logo from online, but you'll want to upload that here. So in order to upload that, you would edit your dashboard and then you would add a widget, and the widget type is an image widget. So you just come into here, it will automatically add this, and then here you'll select the image and then upload from your computer. You can kind of mess around with it based on if you want it to fill or actual size, margin, or no margin. I think for this one, if you look at it, I had it fill, but if you wanted it to fit in, then you would see some weird background colors, or if you wanted to see the actual size, it's pretty big. So obviously filling it makes the most sense, and then I don't have any margins on this. Another thing that you should know about is that most of the time when you're adding widgets, it'll automatically show a title. So you can just toggle this off. Like, we don't need a title for my logo. So next we have these cool little icons, which I love to add, and I create these icons through Canva. So in Canva, you can actually create a new design and then do like custom size. And then I would do like 500 by 500 pixels and then create a new design. So that's what I did here. And then from here, I was able to add in my brand colors, which you could add your brand colors into Canva manually. And then I also just added a quick element. So if we do like a home page, then you can look at the graphics in Canva and pull those in as an image. So if you want to make custom buttons, if you have custom icons for your company and you want to put them into here and then basically create like a downloadable image, then you can do that. And that's essentially how I created these icons at the top. So you might think like, okay, what are these icons? I just have random floating icons here. Well, big surprise, they're actually clickable icons. So I just have this linked to Google, but if you had other dashboards in Smartsheet, if you had a SharePoint, if you had some kind of financial form that needed to get downloaded, whatever, the possibilities are endless, then what you would do is you would again just go to the add and then add an image. And then what I did was once I added the image, I obviously uploaded this image file here from Canva. But if you go down to widget behavior, it's automatically set to take no action, but you can open it to another site, which is what I did, and I just put Google here. Or you could put a Smartsheet item. So if you had a department page, maybe this is your company homepage, but you have 5 departments and you have an icon for each department, then you could open a Smartsheet item and link the dashboard to your operations department, to your marketing department, HR department, and have those go to their Smartsheet dashboard. Or if there's different external websites, you could put that here as well and link that straight here, just copy and paste. And when somebody clicks the image, it'll open it up in a new tab, which is really nice. The one downside to opening up a Smartsheet dashboard is that it'll open in the window. A workaround for this is to just grab the link of the Smartsheet dashboard, open to another site, and put the Smartsheet dashboard link here so that it will open in a new tab still and not in the same window. Just dropping some knowledge here. So yeah, we have a home page. I did like operations, communication, finance, random icons that I think are cool. It's a nice touch. It looks professional. It looks clean. If you wanted to put a title on there, you could and say like home. I kind of like a clean look. So you can do whatever you want to do. If you wanted clickable thing, but kind of know that, see my icon kind of degraded a little bit, the image, so I kind of just like it no title. And also you could add a title with a custom font in Canva, download that, put it on your image, so your font is consistent throughout. Scrolling down, the next thing I want to talk through is this really cool embedded request form. I don't think people utilize this enough. A lot of times people will put like quick links up here and put a link to a bunch of forms, but sometimes it's nice, instead of them having to click another link and click, put the form right here, put it right in your dashboard, and then they can submit it right here. And I think this looks really nice too. This form image, I also created in Canva. I believe this is also 500 by 500 pixels, and I'll show you how I did that. So the form is really the beginning of a form. You're just actually creating a sheet in Smartsheet, and then once you have that sheet, then you can come up to forms and then create a form, and this is what you begin with, right? It's kind of a lot to look at. It's not very cute. We don't love it. It is nice because it pre-fills for us a little bit. We got their logo here. We got, we could format background. We got an automated title for us. Things that I do, if I'm going to click through here, I take this logo off and click apply. And then I would format the background and I would use an image. And then from here, I would choose a really nice image, which I'll show you. So I've already created a form. This is what my form looked like, and I'll open it up. So it looks like this, just a super basic example. But again, what I did was I toggled this off so that it's not showing the Smartsheet logo, and then I put this image here. So again, this is that 500 by 500 pixel. The thing that's a little annoying is like we need the pixels here. The megabytes, it's not really affecting us. Like, it's good to know, I guess, if we're putting a crazy large file size on here. But the pixel size, like the recommended pixel size would be nice. Smartsheet, if you're watching this. Everybody complains about that. And I feel like we could do that. It wouldn't be impossible for us to do that. So, but I'm telling you now, I put a 500 by 500 pixel. It looks really nice. I could have even probably tested a little bit more, but I think this one turned out looking pretty good. Okay, so we have our form. If you watch another video, I talk through how to create a Smartsheet form really quickly. Then another thing that I do is I click this, because before this was untoggled, because it's just going to copy whatever like sheet name you have right here, and it's going to show up on your form, but I really don't want it to show up on the form, so I just toggle this to say do not show title and description. Because you can do that, but you just have less control over your fonts, how things look. Having an image here is a little bit nicer, and you have less flexibility if you're putting in your form title and description here. So I sometimes use it, sometimes don't. And then when you go to your settings, there's different ways you can do it. I have this as a side-by-side. I think that looks nice when you embed it on a dashboard. And then you could even take this off. You can see the Smartsheet branding, but you could even take that off and click save so that it just looks a little bit more professional, a little bit more custom to your company. And then when somebody submits the form, you can even put in a custom message here. If you want to say, instead of success, we've captured your response, you can say, hey, thanks, have a great day, bud, or whatever you want. You can put that here. So, not really going to get into like specifics on setting up a form. I'm really focused on visuals in this video. So check out my other video on that if you're looking more for how to set up a form. So next, how are we embedding this form? Go to Manage Forms, and then from here, click Copy Embed Code. It's going to automatically copy to your clipboard. And then all I did was I added a widget as web content. Let me scroll. So here's the web content. Add content. Paste. Apply. And you see how this title shows up again? It's just not ideal. I don't know why that's an automatic giveaway. So really that's how I added the form into here, and then I just took the title off. So it didn't show the title. So that's how to embed a really nice looking form directly onto your dashboard. The next thing I want to talk through is adding a grouped report, adding some metric widgets. This is just a straight image from Canva as well. I believe this one's a little bit different size, 300 by 150 pixels, so it would fit nicely into here. And the way I'm going to start first with these metrics. So how did I create these metrics? In my sheet, I have a summary, and the summary is just counting up. It's a formula to count up how many have the status mission accomplished, how many are still cooking, and how many are making moves. So as more entries are added to my sheet, this is automatically going to count which category they're in. And the nice thing about the metric widgets is it can pull directly from that. So in real time, it's going to update based on the actual status of the rows in your sheet. So the way I did that again was, let's just pretend like I'm going to add a new one. So I went here, added the metric, add data. Then you want to search for your sheet. And then instead of selecting something from the grid, select it from the sheet summary. And really what I did was I just did one at a time. But the fastest way to do it is to do all of them at the same time. And I had them stacked. And then from here, you can kind of change the position. So if I want the label to be at the top, I toggled it here. If you want it align left, align right, middle, take the title off. And then all I did was I grabbed this, and then I copy mine, and I paste it, and I do it 3 times. And then what I do is I just delete. This is kind of the fastest way to do this. I delete the other ones. And then I would, you can drag and drop to make it like the perfect size, but that's how I would do it. So you would use, again, the metric widget, and then grab those sheet summary values. And then here we have a grouped report. So I love a grouped report. Instead of creating one report, there's so many reports, you're clicking into so many things. Decrease the clicking. That's the whole point, right? So instead of having separated reports, create one report and then group it by status. So that's what I did here. And this is also clickable. And just in case you don't know, the way to make this clickable is go back to this widget behavior and then choose open the data source. And again, this actually, if you open this data source, it opens in the same window. But if you grabbed this report hyperlink, and if you wanted to open in a new tab, you can just do that. It'll open in a new tab. Hopefully you learned something new, because everybody asked me how to open it in a new tab. So there you go. So again, it's pulling in the information from my sheet, and then all I did was create a group by status. And then I just also sorted it by priority. So it looks really good. I think I manually added these emojis in, actually. If you want something a little bit more fun, a little bit more 2025, a little bit more Gen Z or millennial, or I don't know. An emoji is nice every once in a while. So yeah, that pulls in like that, looks really nice. And then here, don't be afraid to change your fonts, change your font size to make things a little bit easier to see because the standard is pretty small. So that is really how I added all these different widgets in. Feel free to just check out this pixel size real quick if you need a reference. So this was from my form image, shortcut icons at the top, logo at the top, and then status image right here, just for reference. So feel free to pause and jot these down if you need to. And then really just from an overarching perspective for the dashboard itself, so I click this little pencil, and then from here you can create a custom theme. So basically this custom theme is really nice because you can put in like, okay, you can put in the actual hex code based on your company brand colors for your background, for your different title widgets, and you can kind of play around with these a little bit. And as you're creating new widgets, it'll automatically create the widgets based on these guidelines here for brand colors. And you can also name your custom theme, maybe put like company brand colors in there. Or if your departments have different themes, then have one for each department. So that is also really nice. So you can kind of mess around with these. The one downside, I think, to the custom theme is if you create a new dashboard, you basically have to export this, save this somewhere, and then when you create a new dashboard, you actually have to import it. Right now, as of September 2025, this custom theme doesn't appear when you're creating new dashboards. So I think that's hopefully something coming in the pipeline. Hint, hint, Smartsheet, watch this video. Because I think that would be really nice if it was just like your custom theme was here. So as you created a new dashboard, you weren't having to import it. Because that's kind of inconvenient. Where am I going to save that? On my desktop? I don't know. So yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to kind of throw at you was this thing. I love this thing. I use this little divider, and this divider is just so hard to find. Why? I wish we had a little divider image thing here so we could add this, because it's just a nice separation, especially when, if you have a white background, it's not clear when your reports are ending. Your reports don't have necessarily an outline on them. It just kind of looks like your report ends and maybe goes on forever. So this divider is really nice to clearly delineate the sections of your dashboard, and I'm going to show you where I found it. Okay, so what I did was I actually went to the templates in Smartsheet and I found a dashboard example that had this divider on it, and I just copied that and I pasted it on my dashboard. And mine follows the rules of my branding colors, so that's why mine has a blue background. But yeah, that's what I did, and I'm going to try to find exactly which template it was really quick. So if you click create, you can view all the templates, and I kind of just click into here and then I check the dashboard section to see if it has any cool icons or anything that I can steal. So here's one just with a line, and you can kind of see how they set it up. Okay, so this is the one that I stole this little icon from, the divider, was the template called Project Tracking and Rollup. It's a medium complexity, and then when you click create from template, it will actually show up in your workspaces, and then from there you can come into here and then just do copy, Control C, edit your own dashboard, and then just paste, Control V. So that's what I did, and I think that divider looks really nice, really professional, and just adds a little bit more to your dashboard. And I am hoping in the future that more of these features will be easily accessible within the Smartsheet dashboard creation section over here as maybe a widget that we could add, or more icons, because right now I'm going to Canva to create a lot of my icons, and I have to go to find that one template to add this divider. And yeah, I just think it could be a little bit better. But these are some hacks on how to make an actually aesthetic dashboard in Smartsheet. I hope this helped. If you are struggling with anything in particular, or you want to know, hey, can this be done? Or, hey, I'm having trouble with this specific thing, drop a comment on this video and I will try to help and answer as best as I can. And if you like this video and you thought it was helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.